Hello, everybody. I'm Abdelrahman, a computational engineering master student at Rouge University, and I'm here to shed some light on multigrid methods, namely algebraic and polynomial multigrid method, and how they can be exploited in the context of vector valid PD. So let's start by setting up our problem, which is a linear system AX equal B, and we need to solve, of course, for X. And it's a simple problem. We can use basically a backslash, but A is sparse, so mainly we can't use direct solver. So what about using an iterative solvers? And yes, technically we can use iterative solvers, but remember that this A in this context comes from a discretization of a BDE. So as the EOFs in the system increase, conventional solvers like conjugate gradient slows down. So it's a really problem, and we need to find another sparse iterative solver. But this solver needs to have two things, needs to satisfy two things. The first one is it needs to incorporate the BDE in the solver itself. Second thing, it's need to be mesh independent, of course, at least in theory. And luckily, we have in the literature multigrid methods, and even better, we have them implemented in the Julia ecosystem in Algebraic Multigrid, or for short, I would call it AMG.jl. So what is the problem? What is the deal? Why I'm here right now? Of course, everything is not perfect, and currently, there are two main problems with AMG.jl. And the first problem is it only works for scalar valid PDEs. The second one, for instance, Poisson equation. And the second one is it only works when using linear shape functions. Other than that, it doesn't work. Not it doesn't work, it slows down. So how can we solve these problems? One possible solution is to extend or to properly encode the physics in the AMG solver by using the so-called near null space, and more on this later. And the second problem can be solved by basically introducing a new package called FerriteMultigrid.jl, which is an implementation of polynomial multigrid methods. So how to really do so? And the answer for that is basically through these sections, in particular the second section and the third sections. But before going to these sections, we need to introduce some necessary foundations that underpins multigrid methods in order to be hopefully on the same page after this quick introduction. So going back to our system, which is AX equal B, and we still need to solve for X, but this time we are doing it naively and simply. How to do so? We basically define A as a splitting of two matrices, M and N, such that M has to be easy to invert. So one can choose M to be the diagonal of the matrix A, or to be the lower triangular part of matrix A, or to be the upper triangular part of matrix A. So we take this splitting and we plug it back to the system and do some crazy math on it. So eventually we get two equations. The first one is an update equation, which basically gives me the updated solution from an old solution. And second equation is an error equation, which basically describes how error propagates through different iterations, So let's investigate this further, or before this, we can, for this basic simple iterative solver to work, we need to ensure that for this basic iterative solver to work, i.e. for this updated solution to reach to exact solution, we need this error vector to be damped as we proceed further in this iteration. So let's investigate that further. And for this, we consider a 1D Poisson equation with 50 degrees of freedom, and we calculate their eigenmodes, which are 50, but we select some of them and we plot them, and here they are. And as you can see, these eigenmodes, or these selected eigenmodes, are a spectrum of eigenmode that goes from low frequency modes, or I would call it smooth error, to high frequency mode, or oscillatory error. These are the terminology that we are going to use. Low frequency corresponds to smooth error, high frequency corresponds to oscillatory error. So since this is a spectrum, we don't need all these eigenmodes. We just need the first eigenmode and the last eigenmode, which is the first eigenmode will be the representative for the smooth errors, and the last eigenmode will be the representative for the oscillatory errors. So after that, we take these error modes and we plug them back to our error equation, which is on the top right corner, and we run these iterations multiple times, and we can see that oscillatory error after few iterations, they are quickly attenuated after few iterations. However, smooth errors persist in the system and they are not attenuated. and this leads to the first foundation. They are oscillator errors are attenuated, smooth error persists in the system. This leads to the first foundation in multigrids methods, which is low frequency error. Low frequency mode corresponds to smooth error persists. High frequency or oscillator error are attenuated after few iterations. So this is really bad because using this only won't make the solver to converge at all. So we need to build another complementary foundation in order to help us to kill this smooth error. And for doing so, we consider yet another comparison, but this time we take the same error mode and we compare it on two different grids: coarse fine grid omega h and coarse grid omega 2h. Moreover, we define two operators: the prolongation operator, which takes the error mode from coarse grid to fine grid, and restriction operator, which basically do the opposite. And as you can see here, the frequency or the error mode has increased from the fine as we go from the fine grid to the coarse grid. Therefore, this concludes our second foundation, which is a smooth error, same error, smooth error on the fine grid becomes oscillatory on coarse grid. And this again concludes our second foundation in multi-grid method. So let's see these principles in action, and this is basically the fundamental core of the multi-grid method. We don't need to go into detail through the figure other than just highlighting some couple things. First of all, we have here two levels, the fine grid and the coarse grid, and we start our algorithm by basically smoothing out the oscillatory error on the we basically smooth out the oscillatory error on a fine grid, and after that, and they are quickly attenuated, and after that we restrict the smooth error to the coarse grid, where they become oscillatory, and then recursively we can reapply the algorithm again and again until we reach to some point where the system is already small enough that we can basically apply a direct solver. And after solving for the system, we can prolongate back to the initial fine grid. And finally, we end up by having a V-like algorithm. The most important takeaway from this algorithm is that this algorithm only works if we ensure that the smooth error passed from fine grid to coarse grid. Otherwise, this whole funky figure is utterly useless. So to ensure robustness, we need to define two things. The first one is we need to define the so-called near-null space P, which is equivalent to smooth error or the low energy modes in the system. Second thing is we need to ensure that the P and the R operator, the prolongation operator and the restriction operator, span the P in their matrices. So what about P? Like, how does this P look like? Is it a vector? Is it a matrix? And moreover, is it something that is fixed, or it is a variable that depends on the problem that you are solving? So this takes us to the first problem we are trying to solve, that AMG only works for scalar valued problems. So let's go to AMG, and here quick note that in AMG and Algebraic Multigrid, they are using two primary strategies to construct the prolongation and the restriction operator. The first strategy is the smooth aggregation, and the second strategy is Rouge 2. In this context, in this section, we are focusing only on smooth aggregation. So whenever I'm saying AMG, I mean smooth aggregation. So let's see the currently or the previously, I would say, previously implemented smooth aggregation method in AMG. This is the pseudocode for the previously implemented smooth aggregation, and here is some visualization of this smooth aggregation. This is not helpful at all, and I will not go into details in this, other than just highlighting the culprit for making the AMG doesn't only works for a scalar value problem. And here's the culprit. If you can see here that the near space, which is the B, is only a vector of once, and it's a vector. And this might work for scalar value problems, but it sure can't work with vector value problems. So how to solve it? Basically, this is how to fix it. We basically enable the user to pass their user-defined near null space, which can be either a matrix or a vector, and accordingly we change the whole algorithm based on this multi-dimensional near null space. The most important thing in this section is to show some numerical experiments, because it emphasizes how this minor change could convergence substantially. So we consider the same 2D linear elasticity in Ferrite And here the near null space is basically the rigid body modes, because these are the low energy modes in the system, and this is a 2D problem. So the low energy modes will be the translation X direction, translation Y direction, and rotation about the outer plane axis, which is the Z axis. And here is the matrix, and in here is the number of nodes. So when we do so, we call the algebraic multigrid the solve function, the algebraic multigrid, but 2 times with the near null space and without the near null space. And as you can see, the near null space here is a keyword argument. And when doing so, this is the result. And as you can see, just using the near null space expedites the convergence a lot. Otherwise, we go the highway. And similarly, we solve the cantilever beam, which is a fundamental problem in structural mechanics, and the result is pretty much the same. So this is the first problem that we have solved, but there is another problem, which is all these problems that we have solved use linear shape function. What about using second order shape functions or third order shape functions? And as you can see, this is the result. If you use AMG to solve a system that uses quadratic shape function, the convergence begin to slow down. So this actually motivates us to develop another package, which is FerriteMultigrid.jl, and again, it's based on Polynomial Multigrid methods. So this is the why, but how to do it? Do we need to write a lot of code? No, because in order to implement Polynomial Multigrid methods, we need 2 ingredients. The first one is we need some film infrastructure, which we can get from Ferrite, and we need a coarse solver, which we can get from Algebraic Multigrid. So if we would like to put this hierarchy in a diagram, it would be something like this. As you can see, AMG sits at the core of the package, and on top of it, we basically do some restriction and prolongation through different finite element space. So for instance, we start our most fine grid by using quadratic shape functions, and then we restrict it to first order polynomial as our approximation, and then we throw what we have to algebraic multigrid solver, and this is basically the hierarchy of the FerriteMultigrid.jl. So, but the question here is, how to reverse the various polynomial finite element spaces. There are 2 coarsening strategies for doing so. The first one is calorican projection, which is basically, I'm not going to into detail into the mathematics, but as you can see here, it depends only on the shape function and ingredient the shape function, which we can get from Ferrite. The second method is rediscretization, and as the name implies, rediscretization is basically you rediscretize your film problem, which the solver don't know and the solver shouldn't know. And that is why we have created an interface, and all the user has to do is that they need to implement the interface or specifically the assembler function and pass their program to the solve function, and accordingly the solver will call the assembler function on their interface. And in the package, we have 2 already implemented programs, the diffusion and the linear elasticity, but again, the user can implement their program in just 2 minutes. How can we use the package? It's pretty much the same as Algebraic Multigrid with 2 nuances. The first one is the finite element space, which none other than the diff handler and encapsulation for the diff handler and the cell values. And the configuration is basically encapsulate 2 options. The first one is the coarsening strategies, which we have seen in the previous slide, and the second one is the projection strategy, which how to traverse the different polynomials, which is either by stepwise projection or by direct projection. And finally, here are some results, a comparison between when using the algebraic multigrid only and when using hybrid methods, including algebraic multigrid and polynomial multigrid. Finally, here is a comparison between Galerkin and rediscretization and their effect on conversions. But I would say this is not an indicative figure because it needs further investigation by solving different problems with different geometries. And finally, there are lots of things to explore. And for this, I would like to thank you and thank you for this. Thank you.
Thank you. We have time for a short question, maybe somebody. Patrick?
Can you use this also the precondition as well, like CG?
Yes, you can use it as a preconditioner for your linear solve.